Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our 2011 commencement speaker, Dr. Baker Fore.
It is a great privilege to be here today. I wasn't too nervous until I went to the baccalaureate service last night and I listened to Dr. Ogden. Believe me, he raised the bar. I started my career, as Dr. Weaver said, in New Mexico, and one of my first endeavors was a hospital. And I managed to sell that hospital and make some money. So I decided that, practicing medicine's fun and making money is fun also. And eventually I became more and more successful, and I think that may be part of the reason they chose me to speak to you today. A lot of it is really about success. How many people in this class graduate and want to be successful? Yeah, I thought so. Well, let's talk about success. Dr. Weaver wants you to be successful. If you go out there and you're really successful, you'll make lots of money, you get famous, you send money back to the institution. Did I say that right? All right. So I was very blessed in that during my first year in practice, I met a man named Dan Berry who was a billionaire, and he took me on a trip, and I met several multimillionaires. And they wanted me to get out the phrase, life sucks, because they wanted to teach people what that really means. Because sucks stands for significance, usefulness, capabilities, and kindness, and success itself. So I wrote a book, Life Sucks, So Get Rich. Well, through that process, I met Dr. Tom Messi, who edited the book for me, and he said, it's a good book. Those are good principles. The problem is you really don't know how to pick a title. Try selling that book in Oklahoma. So we sat down and we thought about, okay, what are the behaviors that actually make people successful? And I can tell you, we've spent a lot of time, we've talked to a lot of CEOs, we've read a lot of books, and we figured out the principles that will actually make you successful. First of all, you need to show up with a positive attitude. If you're positive and you're not a grouch even when you're tired, you're affable to your staff and to your patients, not only will you be successful, but should you get in trouble, people will forgive a doctor they like. They don't forgive doctors they don't like, and that will cost you a lot of time and money. So show up with a positive attitude. You also need to own who you are and own the responsibilities for everything you do. So the way you're going to progress is to be able to own your mistakes. You have to look the very places you don't want to look to grow. And then you need to be able to visualize. You had a vision to get here today. You've realized that vision. Now you've got to set another vision. And when you get out and you're starting to become successful and you think that, man, I'm knocking down six figures, I'm just going to rock along, that's when you need to really set the next vision. The difference between a vision and a dream, if you have a dream with a plan, you have a vision. Formulate your plan for what you want to do with your life now. You may think that this is just this step into an unknown, but if you really sit down and develop your own vision, you can reach it. And to do that, you're going to have to do the extra. When Penske won the Formula One race, little gal stuck a mic in his face and said, "Why did you win today?" And he said it was the extras. Every little extra coat of wax, the extra time someone took to polish a port so the gas went in the engine faster, an extra pound of air on a tire, the extra practice the team put in, all that extra that we did paid off. And as you do the extra, and especially when you do the extra for your patients, if you are known as the physician who goes the extra mile, you will be very successful. And the last behavior is love. Now, many of you are going to think love is kind of a touchy-feely thing. I mean, we're scientists, right? We're left-brain thinkers. Well, welcome to the new age. If you look back at the last 150 years, the first age was the industrial age. We cranked out a lot of stuff in this country, and we're losing a lot of that. A lot of it is going overseas. And then we got into the information age. And you think you're in the information age. Well, the information age is rapidly coming to the close, the sunset, and the beginning of the next era. And that's going to be the innovation age. We're going to have to think differently and do differently than we've ever done before. You have good information. But you're going to be competing with people who also have information and are information mechanics. You're going to be dealing with nurses, nurse practitioners, PAs, et cetera. And to really be able to become successful, you're going to have to go beyond just thinking linearly. And you probably think IQ is very important. Most of you probably have a pretty good IQ or you wouldn't be here. But you know, when they did the book Emotional Quotient, the authors found that the IQ was not nearly all that important in terms of success. Let me ask you a question. If I gave you the percentage, if I said, A, what percentage is important in terms of success for IQ? 40 to 45%? 30 to 40%? 20 to 29%? Or 15 to 20%? Which one would you pick? See, the problem is you picked one. The answer is 4 to 9. The days of being able to look for an answer, A, B, C, D, are over. You're going to have to think innovatively. You know, symbolically, you know, I hated this thing. How many of you know what this is? Number 2 pencil. Had to show up a few times with these, didn't you? Well, now guess what? You can break the pencil. Because now you're going to get to step out on your own and be able to think innovatively. And to do that, you really have to be a loving person. You're going to have to understand your patients. You're going to have to practice with love. Love, it gets you into your left brain, your right brain. When you start dealing with an emotional relationship with your patient, when you become truly compassionate, you will have something to offer that other practitioners don't have to offer. Patients do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you don't remember any remark I made today, I would really love for you to remember that. And finally, let's talk about success. You know, many times you think success is money. When I was an intern, I liked to trade with the other interns. We would draw autopsy duty, and I didn't want to do H&Ps. I liked to slash and cut. So I would go down and do the autopsies and trade some of my H&Ps with the other guys. And one day I was doing a guy, and the pathologist says, "You know what the question is about this patient?" And I said, "How'd he die?" "No, we're going to figure that out." "What's the question everybody's asking?" I give up. "How much did he leave behind?" Well, this gentleman would buy swampland for pennies on the acre, bulldoze the trees, all that sort of stuff, go in and sell it for dollars on the acre. Neat trick. And then he would take and do that again, and then the next time he'd put in the roads, and the next time he'd put in a little more. And each time, after a while, he was going in and buying swampland for pennies, putting houses on the place, and selling it for thousands on the acre, making huge profits. How much did he leave behind? Every bit of it. And if you don't remember anything else other than the other phrase I said, just remember, no reason to sacrifice your life for money. You're going to leave it all behind. What's going to be important is the love and the relationships that you formulate. And the other thing that sometimes I see young docs get into is fame. Fame is very fleeting. Most of you in a few years won't remember who spoke today, but you'll remember when they put the hood around your head. So fame is very fleeting. And let me prove that. How many of you can name the last 5 winners of the Super Bowl? How many of you can name the last 5 Nobel Prize winners in medicine? How many of you can name 5 Academy Award winners for the best actor? But let me tell you who can you remember. Name one teacher that made a difference before you came here. Name a teacher that made a difference while you were here. Think of 3 friends that helped you get through this place. Think of the parents or the relationships with friends at home that you left behind who sent you here. Those are the people that had an impact on your life, because those are the people who loved you. And that's what you can be for your patients. Practice with love. Everything else will fall into place. Now, this room is full of people who love you people. And I'd like for you to give them a round of applause. Thank you.